Hey everybody, welcome back to the studio. Well, as I've said before, I'm here in Southern Alberta, Canada. It's where my office is. It's been, shall we say, insanely cold. Let's be honest. It's been down to minus 30 and 40 Celsius. We've had wind chills down to the minus 55s and even colder in some places. It's just been a nightmare. When it's this cold, a lot of photographers just veg out. They don't do anything. But this is a great time to get caught up on different things. So in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about what you can do when you're not outside and taking pictures, enjoying the weather, and so on and so forth, and what you can get prepared for in the future. So, first thing, this is a great time to go through all your equipment and make sure all your settings are correct. To make sure your batteries are charged, that they are taking a charge, to make sure that your camera cards are cleaned off, that they're formatted, to make sure your camera cards are working correctly. This is a great time to make sure that all your equipment is doing what it's supposed to do, that the settings are correct, and so on and so forth. As I've recommended before in other videos, I recommend writing out cheat sheets so that you know your settings for your flashes, you know your settings for your cameras, and even for your lenses. This is a great time to go through those cheat sheets and make sure that everything is set where it's supposed to be set, because stuff gets moved. Believe me, I'll take something out of a camera case and I'll look at it and go, why is it on this setting? Well, I must have bumped it or I must have done something. It's a great time to go through and make sure everything is set to where it's supposed to be. Make sure it's working. Backup files. This is a great time to make sure that you have space on your hard drive for when it gets better. If you're a nature and wildlife photographer and you have a portable hard drive and a laptop that you take with you on location, this is a great time to make sure all that stuff is backed up locally and clean off those things, so that when you go out, you have the stuff ready to go. If you're a wedding photographer, if you're a family photographer, this is a great time to make sure all your files are backed up, that everything's archived. Now, this may be an insult. Well, it is an insult, but it's an insult to myself as well as everybody else. Photographers and artists in general are the world's best procrastinators. Believe me, I know what it's like. I'll have customers come in the studio and they'll ask for some prints to be done. I'll say, I'll have them done for you in an hour. And they go, oh, no rush. I say, yeah, it's a huge rush because I'm the world's greatest procrastinator. One 4x6 print, if I don't do it immediately, could take me months to do. It's only one print, but I just keep procrastinating and procrastinating and procrastinating. So I've learned for myself to do stuff as soon as I can. And when I have downtime, instead of putting on YouTube videos, instead of putting on Netflix, instead of putting on Prime or whatever you use to veg out, do something worthwhile. Check your settings, check your gear. This is a great time to fix those things you've been fighting with for years. A tripod that has a loose leg on it and you've tried fixing it, but you just can't fix it. Order the part now. Get it fixed. That camera bag, backpack, case, whatever it is, that has a loose zipper or a broken zipper or a broken clasp or something like that. This is a great time to either replace it or to get it fixed, because you're not doing anything else. So get that done now. Here's a big problem with a lot of photographers, and again, I put up my hand because I've struggled with this as well. We get so busy during the summer that shooting a wedding is just like, oh yeah, got it, piece of cake. Another wedding, oh yeah, no problem. Then all of a sudden we have downtime, and when we start getting back into weddings in February and March, all of a sudden we're not doing it as a flow. We're not doing it organized. We're just sort of struggling from thing to thing. Sit down now and go through your shoot sheets. Sit down now to figure out how you want to work the flow. Oh, I was doing this, but this didn't work well, so how about I do this? Oh, I'd like to ask my brides, what would you like for this? What would you like for that? How would you like this to go? Get those sheets organized. Get that stuff organized. It'll make it a lot better for when you start getting back into doing pictures. Another thing, assign yourself little tasks to learn, little things to improve upon. A lot of photographers come in. I see it online constantly. I have a struggle with this type of lighting. This is a great time to struggle through that, to work through that, to figure that out when you're not under the pressure of producing work. I know wildlife photographers. Oh, I have a real problem with following this or doing this. This is a great time to learn that. I'll sit in my dining room. I have big windows outside of my dining room. I can sit there and I can photograph the birds outside and I can try different things. And it's not a big deal if I don't get a picture. It's not a big deal if I get 500 out of focus pictures while I was trying different this, that, or the other things. It's not a big deal if I'm not required to produce, so I can experiment. Great time to try mixed lighting with on-camera flash or off-camera flash or with studio lights or with. This is the time to do it. Now, I always say, get yourself a model to work with. Now, problem is, most models get bored really quick. So what I always tell people is, go and get yourself a little teddy bear or a big teddy bear. I have two sitting over here behind me. They're about this big, and their skin or their fur color is the same color as my skin. Works great for learning lighting, for learning exposure, for learning, wow, this is burnt out, this color effect, or works great. I can take my time. They don't want to break. They're not complaining that they've sat there for an hour, and you can keep working through stuff. This is a great time. If you want to try something new, again, another great time to learn it. I've warned about this before, but if you want to try something like water drop photography, watch some videos. Now, please understand, some of these videos are way out in left field. Don't just take one and believe that it's all true, but start learning different things. Figure out how to do water drop photography. If you want to learn how to paint with light and you want to start doing some stuff where you're painting the subject with just a LED light or something, this is a great time to go down to your basement, turn off all the lights, get a subject, start using a flashlight to see what happens with it. Go out and get an LED light that changes color. Start using that. Use sparklers. Do whatever. This is a great time to do that. Then, when the weddings start, then when families come out of hibernation and start wanting family pictures around Easter, then you have different skills that you can put into practice. And it's a great thing to do because you won't be as rusty if you keep doing things all through this cold time, all through this downtime, as you would be if you just put the stuff away and vegged out. This is another great time to make sure that not only are all your files on your computer and everything backed up, but that all your programs are up to date. Maybe you've been struggling with a program to do raw conversions. Maybe they have a new version out and you've been putting it off. This is a great time to make sure that's updated as well. This is a great time to make sure that your emergency kit in your vehicle is up to date. If you're out doing a wedding or if you're out shooting nature and wildlife and something should happen, make sure that you have that extra stuff. Great time to go through your phone and make sure that you have the right apps on it. Maybe you want an app for the sun positions. Maybe you want an app for the moon positions. Maybe you want a star map app. I'm trying to say that fast. Maybe you want different things on your phone. This is a great time to update those things. Get used to them. Learn how they work. This downtime doesn't have to be a time where we just sit there staring at a TV screen, staring at a computer screen and getting nothing done. This can be a great time to do things that will improve your photography. Another thing that I tell people about this time of year, this is a great time to go through, if you have a website, if you have a Facebook page, if you have Instagram, and make sure that everything is correct. Make sure your links are working. Make sure that the phone numbers are correct. Make sure the email addresses are correct. Go through and make sure that everything is up to date. Refresh the content. Google Search Console likes fresh content. If your content's 2, 3, 4 years old, you're probably falling down the rankings. This is a great time to go through and make sure all that stuff's cleaned up. Just the other day on one of my websites, I went through and I noticed that something didn't look right. So I clicked on the link and sure enough, the link wasn't working. There was a number, or actually it was a letter, that was missing on the URL. Whoa, that meant that nobody could order that print because the PayPal link that was on there was incorrect. So I went through and I made sure that was cleaned up. That was fixed. This is a great time to do things like that. This is a great time to set out your different posts that you're going to do throughout the year. What am I going to do for Valentine's Day? Well, I should be starting those promotions now. What am I going to do for Easter? Well, I should be starting those around Valentine's Day. What am I going to do for weddings? Well, I should be promoting those between Valentine's Day and between Easter. What am I going to do? This is a great time to organize all things like that. Cold weather, as much as it sucks, as much as it's horrible, as much as my body doesn't want to work and my vehicles don't work, it's a great time to get things done. And I try to use that time. Doesn't mean that you can't enjoy some time off. Doesn't mean that you can't have a YouTube video running and watching it, or watching a movie or something while you're doing other things. But it's also a great time to grow. So until next time, I hope you stay warm. I hope you stay safe. I hope you get some great pictures and that you do grow during this downtime. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.